Oh no. I meant to turn it off. The Hierophant, a healing. I'm over the sweatshirt. I was at the train station at King's Cross earlier this year in the spring, summertime, and I came about the platform 9 3/4 sweatshirts. And I go, I want to buy one. And I want to get one for Kelly, and Stacy, and the Tara, and Elaine. Up, there goes 200 pounds. So instead of buying the one for myself, I put in an overdose where then I tap out and can't even buy the first sweatshirt. So the first one, the next one should go to Kelly, and I would get the red one for myself and the blue one for her. But that would look awful against this blue backdrop. So I could just wear my Hesed sweater and look like an ice princess. It's what everybody likes anyway. But this is my hoodie. All right, my hoodie. This is where I get to do this, and I get to come on screen, do that to people. Do you see what the difference of what it looks like when, like, my character persona changes based off of my attire? Who I am, my character is form-fitted to the clothes I wear. It's a secret teaching of Hollywood and costume. You see somebody in an outfit and you go, that's who they are. So I don't mind having that Hermione Granger exterior with a little bit of that edgy Katniss vibe where it looks like I'm gonna punch somebody. Oh no, there it is. I don't mind it. It's not elevated. Let me say that again. This is my ninja gear. I even wear it with my black ballet pants. So I can do that to somebody when I want to. I'm not joking. I wear it all day long, every day. I live in yoga ballet gear. I'm always on the run, and I'm always working out, and that's my attire. But it's awful for a video. Okay, the Hierophant. There's a standard of practice and living as a master, and our left brain understands it. What I should be doing is getting elevated robes. And I would wear the robe, it would be velvet, with nice embroidery. And it would look like confessor gear. And I would wear the robes on the lighting ceremony and on the initiation day, where there's a practice or formality that is needed or required. I should have my wand, and it should be polished. And I should be able to reach and point instead of having broken wands and scraps laying around everywhere. I should have my ceremonial gear. Hierophant. The problem with being homeless or couch surfing is that you don't really think about the material. You think about, how am I going to write 5 Yoda Balls books today? And then wake up tomorrow and write another 550 pages, whatever I can get done, just so I can live through the next day. In the beginning of this Kabbalah program, I said, I will be my own wind beneath my wings. And I meant it. And that this is why I'm doing the Kabbalah class for free and posting it online. But the reality is this. There are 500 books on the Hashmalim reading list, and then another 500 for the Seraphim. That's also wind beneath my wings. Not to mention all the books I should be writing, because the publications will then go through, and then if I die in 100 years, I'll be able to read my own book. Which is probably going to be a lot more available than a YouTube clip done from 2021, Free Willy Kabbalah. So it'd be better to have everything written down in a formal setting. This is the whole knowledge behind why Bibles were made. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. What I am is a scientist, and I understand monks. And I understand the whole Dark Ages for what, monks would just, give up their entire existences to go write and scribe Bibles just to remember the light of God. Oh, it was to control people all day long. Yeah, from being demons. Yeah, of course it was to control people. If you take out the dogma, it's pretty nice. There are old Kabbalah texts and Indian ancient Vedic texts that are very similar to the Bible if you study the tree of life and you have knowledge. They don't talk about the root chakra. Do they? All right, so we're talking old hierarchical knowledge, and that's the whole point of the Hierophant. Hierarchical knowledge. Old hierarchy of classical knowledge and text. I don't know why, the reason why he looks like an old pope is because he was. Now, you need to understand, historically, the Christians were the left-wing radicals of their day. They were the cool people and the rebels of society. They would have looked like hippies now. So you need to know that. So an old pope may seem tyrannical and dogmatic to a New Ager, or to a hippie that wants to smoke a lot of weed. Okay, so the Hierophant has a lot of hidden knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of life and reality. Now, I am not so keen on Catholic dogmas, nor rape pedophilia. Okay, so all the hidden demons within the churches, that needs to go. But people of God, historically, were people of God. They tried. A lot of them tried very hard. And if you're watching this video, it's because you have 100 lifetimes, if not more, of being a nun or a monk. And not just a Buddhist monk, but a Christian monk or an Irish Catholic monk or something funny and hunched over, and you're I'm just gonna spend my whole life writing books. And back then, that was the science. That's it. So if you have a deep reverence for real Christianity, like the Christ is the Christ, you know? Like, anyway. So the Hierophant sits from the left shoulder at Hesed to the left brain at Chokmah. So it's the path in between. When I first got this healing, it was a black crow or raven popping through and out of my body. But it just went up through my left brain and then feathered out. Wing expanded. Left brain. And I go, where's the right side? Where is it? And then I pretended that it came out because I was trying to force it. And then after that, we did the Isis healing. And we did the Isis healing, or the Lilith Potter, where we're cutting through, and we realized that there were like demons in our left brain saying that our left brain is not creative. Our left brain is logical and dogmatic. But in reality, the left brain produces fertility. It produces magic. It's the sperm, God's sperm, that goes into your right brain and then through. Okay, let me say that again. So it's a part of the supernal realm. So it's not logical and dogmatic. It's creative. It creates logic. Let me say that again. It creates logic. It creates law. Can I say that again? The way the Shakti comes through is from Keter, Chokmah, Bina. Not the other way around. Keter, Chokmah, Bina. And then through the void, and then into the physical manifest. Let me say that again. Keter, Chokmah, Bina. Okay, so the left brain is definitely creative. A Muggle looks at the left brain like it's a prison. Okay, so prison is from the abyss down. Let me say that again. The prison or prism, the mirror prism, or the karma prison is from the abyss down. So if you want out of karma, Chokmah, good Chokmah, will get you through. And good Bina, so those are the supernals. Those are the real good God stuff. So the children's program is Tiferet, Hufflepuff, Gabra, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hoshmalim. Those are the children's programs. And then the adults programs are the Aurors, the Wizigamot. So the Aurors, the Aralim, Wizigamot, the Ophanim. And then the Hyotes, like the high ministry people. Okay. So there's a difference between the adults and the children's program, because the children are undeveloped, because they haven't learned or mastered specific skills, techniques, laws, or understandings of the higher divine. And then we have the high priestess that goes all the way here. All right, so here we have the Hierophant. Now my favorite interpretation of the Hierophant is looking at Dumbledore. Not even Gandalf, Dumbledore. So you understand he's a representative. He is the highest alpha male of the reality. He is the oldest and the wisest. So he has the deepest hierarchical knowledge and wisdom as a whole, and he knows how to contact all of the other higher wizards, higher level knowledge people to get even better because he's wise. Let me say that again. He does not operate from ego. He operates from problem solving, understanding of all the problems on Earth. Gandalf was very similar. Oh, the Dark Lord has returned. It's the same story. And everybody else is like, no, the Dark Lord has not returned. And Gandalf's like, the Dark Lord has definitely returned. Did you not see the forest with all the spider webs? Okay, so they operate from a higher place of wisdom. And then here you have Galadriel, who's the high priestess, and she looks at Gandalf as in like, yeah, the Dark Lord's returned, because she's not dumb. She's a genius and a Jesus. Galadriel's legit. All right. Who would have been the high priestess in Harry Potter? We go probably McGonagall. So then you think in your brain, Dumbledore looking at McGonagall. The Dark Lord has returned. And McGonagall goes, yeah. Okay, so the high priestess is definitely intuitive and understanding and developed. Okay, so the Hierophant always checks in with the high priestess. Always. And that's a developed, balanced society. So when we have a pope that checks in with the high priestess, then we know that the Hierophant is working in life. Right now, the Pope would look at me and laugh. Let me say that again. And so would the Dalai Lama. So all the Hierophants of society would look at me and my life and laugh. So that's why Babaji was the Hierophant in reality. Because Babaji would not look at me and laugh. So the fact that they would look at me and laugh shows they are Slytherin and haven't even passed reverence or respect in any lighter capacity. So they haven't hit Tiferet. Now let me say this again. The Hierophant is Dumbledore and definitely not the fucking Pope. I have more reverence and respect for the entire Christian religion than the Pope even has for my entire life. And I don't mean just this lifetime, I mean all lifetimes. All right. Hierophant's supposed to stand for something divine and good. Remember, they are above Tiferet, so they are above the Christ. Ravenclaw is the Hierophant. So it's a bunch of little girls or little boys that look at an alpha of supreme knowledge, wisdom, and divinity and go, I need to learn from them. And they do. They learn. So Hermione goes, it's Leviosa, not Leviosar. Let me say that again. It's Leviosa. Do you see how there's no heart in that? Does there need to be? No. You know why? Because it's law. It's Leviosa. That's like me saying Newton's laws of physics. Or what comes up must come down. It doesn't matter how condescending I say it, what tone of voice I communicate or deliver my message in. If it's a punch in the face, a cap in the throat, it does not matter. If it's law, it's law. It does not matter if you like me. It does not matter if I'm easily digestible. So Ravenclaw's job is to download the highest intelligent law all day long, every day. The brilliant ones, the Hashmalim. That's who they are. And Charlie's going, I'm over myself. Because we don't know what we don't know. And that's the big component about the raven popping out of the left brain. It's the unknown. The unknown begins here at Bina. But it's also inside of Hokmah. I don't know what I don't know. And then we begin to let go of our tyrannical nature, thinking in dogmatic formulas where we're always in jail or prison. Remember, here is the Hierophant. It gets us across the abyss. It does not keep us stuck in it. It gets us across. Gets us across the abyss. Across. So does the High Priestess. That's a higher jump, though. All right. Studying with a master gets you across the abyss. Let me say that again. When you go to work at Fender and you want to build a guitar, you have to do their apprenticeship program where you actually study with the masters who build the custom guitars. And you study for 5 years before you're even allowed to touch one. I don't remember the exact deadline. When you study with people who have knowledge, it gets you across the abyss. So you're not floundering forever, not knowing what you're doing for infinity. Man, I wish I had a better Kabbalah teacher. I got Lucifer and Charlie. I studied with Teresa. That got me kind of across an abyss. That was my first. My second Kabbalah class with her, it was the same. I learned my lesson. My third Kabbalah class, I got Doreen Virtue's book and decided self-study with Doreen Virtue. 4th Kabbalah class, I was the teacher. And then God was the teacher on my life, and then I taught a class. The 5th Kabbalah class was the dragons coming in. Boom, 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 boom. Here's our 6th one. 6th and 7th, actually. 8th. 9th? Okay. Because I have multiple students with multiple classes going. All right, so now I have the Hierophant component going on, and that's why I'm a qualified educator. One of them. But the way I learn is going into the unknown and then getting whacked and then figuring out that was the wrong thing to do. And then communicating what we need to do to fix that. That's it. After so long and so much time getting punched in the face or stabbed or shot in the astral planes, after I develop so much understanding, it moves over into Hokmah and creates wisdom. Oh, my wisdom, if I do this many pages a day, it creates this result. And that happens over time. And that's why the Hierophant looks like an old dude. That happens over 50 years, 60 years, 80 years of delivering the same alchemical boom, boom, boom actions to create this result. Oh, here is this knowledge. Here is this wisdom. I have this answer for you. The Hierophant. I know what I am doing in life. Kinda. But I know how to make that spell work. I know how to teach a Kabbalah program. Kinda. I know how to bleed out knife rapers in the astral planes. I know how to protect dragons. I do. I know how to protect the dragons. So I have this knowledge. I'm above the knowledge. I have the understanding, which is Bina, but I also have the wisdom from applied timeline practice. This was what I was hoping to achieve when I lived with Star, is that she would have years and decades of applied knowledge and practice and would teach me like a master. And she looked like a masturbator instead, times 500. And it didn't trigger 100 of my red flags to actually take action and leave, which is what I should have done like week 1. Because I was the like, am I crazy? Is that like off? She's supposed to be a master healer and she doesn't know how to take her own toe and soak it in the sun. She has no action plan. I feel like I come to work floundering every single day. I don't even know what it's going to be like. I have to deal with the drama between her and her husband. Passive-aggressive undermining coming from both of them. I'm like stuck in the middle every single day dealing with fights. Oh, I have to pick up dog shit too because she undermines all of my training. I can't even tell her about her own health issues because she's like an 80-year-old fat woman. So like, I make her grilled cheese sandwiches, knowing it's going to trigger diabetic responses. God, I have to digest that she's going to tell me that she's allergic to vegetables. Okay, so that's not Hierophant. It goes against every law of nature of just health, a baseline Malkuth, a baseline common sense. That means anything above Malkuth that was coming from her was just full of dog shit. That's the worst word in the world. It was filled with vomit, futility, arrogance, bizarre delusions of insanity, times a billion. Because she didn't have an adequate Malkuth. So if you don't even have an adequate Malkuth, then your Hierophant is 0. I don't even know how to take care of my own body. Okay, so like, and my brain didn't have a Kabbalah teacher to tell me that. And I needed one. Instead, I got sucked into a cult. That was a cult. All right, so the Hierophant. The Hierophant looks for higher left brain intelligence. So I can look at David Sedaris and know that David Sedaris is a genius, but he's so fucked up at the same time. But he's also a genius. So how do I make sure that his knowledge goes and helps build my Hierophant? And then how, because we have to build our own in life. Because right now, there is no Dumbledore on this planet. 0. 0 Dumbledore. It's like me, Kelly, Misty Copeland, and some little girls that have crossed the abyss. And then the dragons. Can I say that again? And then some monks are good, but remember. So we have to take the monks, apply their knowledge and wisdom, and then still build the Hierophant. Okay, we gotta build that Hierophant position. So then we take Malcolm Gladwell and build the Hierophant. And then we take Michael Moore and we build the Hierophant. And then we take Kurt Vonnegut, and we build the Hierophant. And we take philosophers, old classical philosophers, and people like Shakespeare, and we build the Hierophant. And we take musicians like Hans Zimmer and Ludovico, and we build the Hierophant. And we take Spielberg and Aaron Sorkin, and we build the Hierophant. We build the Hierophant. We take old, archaic, left brain wisdom, and we start to create something. We need a lot of them. And so that's why we have the Hashmolim reading list. So we build the Hierophant, because each book is like another layer building up that Hierophant deeper and deeper. So right now, I'm reading Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I have seen that book everywhere I have gone my entire life, and I've spat on it every single day, going, that book is shit. And that book is everything. It even quotes like Emerson and Thoreau. And we're going to study Emerson this year. And self-reliance and transcendentalism. And just being a good, honest person. All right, so that builds the Hierophant. Okay. Our left brain reads. Let me say that again. There's a scene in Lord of the Rings where Gandalf is trolling the library for all of the wisdom about what the ring was. Because he didn't know. Let me say that again. He did not know what the ring was. So he had to search a library. Instead of like feeling the ring and going, yeah, I know what this is, like a stupid psychopath. God. Yeah, it's this. No. You know what Gandalf did? He Hermioned it. Dumbledore, same thing. They're readers and investigators. They don't pretend that they know something that they don't. And I'm trying to cancel out that pattern in my life times a billion. I know what I hear in the astral planes. I don't know how to appropriate it. So I just write it down instead, and I send it to the people who sent it to me. Because I don't know what that is going to create. And I'm figuring it out. And that's life. That's reality. That's health. That's a form of health. Because I'm seeking for truth. I'm seeking for knowledge. Not one of those people have ever responded to me and goes, I didn't say that. And I've been doing it for about 6 months. 0. 0. Now, I know how to interpret everything that they have sent me. Most of it is like violent assault, threats, hate, condescension times 100. So I know who they are because of what they're sending me, but not one of them are self-aware at all that that is just demon, which is fucking funny. So I know they're like Slytherins and stuff. Oh man. See, a Slytherin, like, they don't look at the darkness or the evil they send others and go, yeah, that's not good. They look at it going, yeah, that's how I feel. Let me say that again. Yeah, that's how I feel. That's my reality. Because they didn't do the Christ Tiferet work. And they didn't do the mirror work either. To look at me like I'm their mirror and that whatever shade they're throwing at me is gonna just bounce right back to them. So they don't calculate those things times a billion. All right, so the Hierophant. They do not pass Hode. Hode is about mastering the mirror prism. You look at somebody and you do not separate them from reality or from the mirror prism. You do not. You look at Baba G and you go, I need to figure out who Baba G is. Instead of pretending that you know and then saying that Baba G's like a dirty Indian or like... So you don't look at things like Baba G is not separate from me. Now there were a couple of things that Baba G didn't do that I could call him out on and that I ended up having to do these last 9 months. But I did it with him and that was nice. So there are holes and flaws and fallacies in what spiritual people present to the populace. And the Hierophant is supposed to come off like a humble, wise advisor that knows he doesn't know anything, and maybe he knows some things about some things. Can I say that again? Maybe he knows some things about some things. Because Gandalf doesn't come off like... like Gandalf... Like, can you imagine Gandalf patronizing me like a pope. Like, you're starving yourself to death on a beach for whales. You're a poor homeless woman. That's what you deserved. Can you imagine Gandalf being like that? Oh no. God, no. And then you have Dumbledore. Dumbledore, like, here's the part about Dumbledore would have come up with 50 Hermione tricks to, like, take out the weirdos that did harm while I was on a hunger strike. That's what Dumbledore would have done. I'm going to figure out a trap to do really rad stuff. That would have been the reality, because it was a service assignment. And he's going to work on figuring out how to free the whales. Like, that's Dumbledore. I'm pretty sure Gandalf would have figured it out too. So that's why the Hierophant, like, we have to figure those people out in life. All right. The Hierophant Healing. Close your eyes. Now, this only works if you got the Seraphim Healing, where your python turned into a giraffe, and then your giraffe turned into a griffin. And you could feel the cold, burning fire. It was a cool fire that came through with the griffin. It came out with both wings, and it was like clawing up the staircase, going up into Dumbledore's chambers or office. If you look at Harry Potter as he's about to enter the staircase, you see the griffin. And you see the griffin climbing through the DNA. I sure hope you've gotten that initiation. If you have not, then you have not passed a Gryffindor Nexa, and only pass a Ravenclaw Nexa if you get this one. Some people do both. Some people climb up other paths of the tree, and that's okay. If it's above the wheel of karma, then it's above the wheel of karma. So, I'm going to take that back. It may work for some people that haven't done the Griffin initiation. So we're going to cut open a space in our left brain. So we look at our brain or our face as two hemispheres, the right side and the left side. We're going to take that hemisphere, and it's going to be like recording our brain. So now we have a right side and a left side. And we're going to open up through the center of our left brain. And we're going to stick the Hierophant's cross. It's a 3-tiered cross into that newly opened flesh. And it's the silver. I've already done this for many of you, but this is a revisit. And you're going to feel the Kundalini rise in your body. and the raven or the crow pop out with its wing outside of your left brain. Now, if it pops out the right side of your brain, then you're definitely an horror and a weirdo. If you still haven't gotten the Hierophant activated. You might feel the whole wing come out, almost like your Katniss wearing the wedding dress and it turns into the Mockingjay. And it's just the left wing that pops out underneath your arm, and it's black. And you feel the crow or raven head pop through. Now, both crows and ravens are songbirds, and we'll talk about them in the Ravens and Crows video. They're talkers. Let me say that again. They're songbirds, chit-chatters, talkers, and they develop secret codes and messages and languages and things. They're social birds. And they're not nice, but they're well community oriented. They're very fair-minded. So if they had a lineage, they wouldn't have like one person in the lineage be a total impoverished whore that starves to death, while the rest of them get fat and happy and lazy in life. Like, ever. So they are left-wing, communistic, communal, utopia society. Karl Marx. They're Marxist. Whatever is the highest level of intelligence in the divine and the most ideal. And then you let it pop through your spine, the left side of your spine. If it's agitating your right side, that's okay. Let it. I became very aggressive the night where it shook out of me. Very aggressive. I'm like, why is it not popping out of my right side? I'm just like, why is it coming out the left? And it might float all the way up to the top of the ceiling. And then you might feel more wings or feathers pop through the slit. The quote, I have it right in front of me, from Emerson. It's written down, how lovely, and it's just there. He was talking about character of people. Stephen Covey was. He was talking about bad character of people undermines any and all persona or facade or spiritual motivation tactics. I just call those people douchebags. Like Vishen Lakhani is one of them. Like, you can see who Vishen is because he looks like a Slytherin. You can see who he is. So it doesn't matter if he produces mind valley. And it's all in service of God. Like, you know exactly who that dude, what his goals and ambitions actually are in life. You can see that he's ruled by the solar plexus. Sad. All right, so Emerson's quote, "What you are shouts so loudly in my ears. I cannot hear what you say." Let me say that again. What you are shouts so loudly in my ears. I cannot hear what you say. To think that Ralph Waldo Emerson, let me do that without floundering his name, flub-bunning his name. Ralph Waldo Emerson. What year was that? It sounds so clear, so precise, so concise, direct, succinct, perfection. It's transcendent. And that's why we're studying Emerson first, based off of Babaji's recommendations, because Babaji is the Hierophant. So, what you are shouts so loudly in my face, so loudly in my ears. Same thing. I cannot hear what you say. Now I think of Elijah. And I go, yeah, that's the same thing. It's like, yeah, I'm a Hollywood actor that pretends he's Frodo in real life. Starves me to death on a beach, forces channel on me for 15 years, and then knife rapes me in the astral planes, and pretends he doesn't, and that he's going to get away with all of it. And wait, he's a cheater, a liar, and a fraud. And then I'm supposed to listen to what he has to say. So the reality is this. What he is shouts so loudly into my ears, but also my face. Like, I cannot hear what he has to say. This is what I was like when I met him. Let me say that again, because I think everybody needs to know. The first time I met him was at Cinefamily. We were doing a viewing of Grand Piano, or the Piano movie, and he came to do a talk on his movie, and he stood right in front of my face. Like, I'm here, and there he is, and there's the zipper to his jeans in front of my face, like there, that, for 20 minutes. While he's standing with a microphone, with rhetoric pouring out of his mouth about useless, bizarre, like, here I was a kabbalah teacher. There was nothing of value or substance that he had to offer except for one teaching, and that was that boundaries created, or constraints, creative constraints, boundaries, limits, produce more creativity. And what that was a deep Kabbalah teaching that the better the Gebra, the more creative you were. And so that's how I read it. Instead of, so he says one little fraction of something intelligent, and I go, maybe there's a genius in there somewhere. But the rest of it was this. What he was so overtly offensive that I couldn't listen to him. Because of everything I had experienced for like 5 to 6 years. And then when I met him again, I like hung out with his hipster slob friends. They're all drunk and horror movie fanatics. And it was the same thing. It's just listening to Lily. Like, I'm watching her basically jerk him off as they're sitting at a panel underneath. I don't know if I was watching that physically, but it was definitely there metaphorically. She's jerking him off, talking so proudly about him being a perv, and that every one of them should be proud of it. And I'm sitting in the front row. An hour went by, maybe a half hour went by, and the only thing I actually got from that entire panel sitting was that he was a perv and proud of it, and he was too good to answer an email if there was a typo in it. He was too important. So, What you are shouts so loudly in my ears. I cannot hear what you say. So my students, or the people in this class, my real friends in life, I can hear what they say because they have developed a sense of reverence or respect. Okay, so that's the dark side of the Hierophant. You want the light side? You want the white raven? The Christ? You want to tell me your heart chakra matters more than your supernal realm left brain? Okay. Let's undermine hundreds of years of scientific logic and thought to give credence to the heart chakra. Because we gotta have it. So we're gonna allow the white raven to pop through our heart chakra and open up just to make sure we're in balance. That we're not too dark. With higher analytical thought. Like, let me piss on classical music. Because I'm a troll. It hasn't even passed Toad. Classical music is heartless. So is health, apparently. Apparently it's better for a person to smoke 500 cigarettes a day. Call I run out.